Hello, everyone, and let me start off by saying I hope that everyone is having a great February. Less than 2 weeks to go until March 1st, which I'm glad for. Um, what I kind of wanted to do today is explain my opinion and on something that I heard about a little bit ago. And I don't know how many of you have heard about this, but to me, it's scary. So let me just get into it. Anyway, it's called Agenda 21, and what it basically is it's creating a sustainable living environment for people. And anyway, I printed out some information here. Agenda 21 quick facts. Um, and this is the UN, along with many other different countries, including the U.S. And so far, over 600 cities here in the U.S. alone have signed up to be members of this. Anyway, UN Agenda 21 quick facts. Governments take control of all land use. Decision making not in the hands of private property owners. Individual rights are to give way to the needs of communities. Needs of the community determined by the governing body. People packed into human settlements, islands of human habitation, close to employment centers and transportation. Wildlands Project tells how most of the land is to be set aside for non-humans. That to me sounds rather scary. I don't like the idea of being stuck in a human settlement. My rights taken away to own my home, my land, my property. And yeah, living in a, like I said, a human settlement. Settlement. I don't want to live stacked one on top of the other, and it'd be kind of like subsidized housing, apartments, and I guess there would be no more cars. You would, like you said, you would live near an employment center or like a railway system if you had to travel, but there would be no more cars. Um, Let me just read this other part to you here. UN Agenda 21 cites the affluence of Americans as being a major problem, which needs to be corrected. It calls for lowering the standard of living for Americans, so that the people in poorer countries will have more, a redistribution of wealth. Americans are cast in a very negative light and need to be taken down to a condition closer to average in the world. Only then, they say, will there be social justice, which is a cornerstone of the UN Agenda 21 plan. Lower standards of living? Excuse me, but there are plenty of people in this country right now that are living low standard, low income, and in my opinion, sooner or later, there's not going to be any middle class. You're either going to be rich or you're going to be poor. And it's a scary situation right now. Okay. Agenda 21 policies date back to the 70s, but it got its real start in 1992 at the Earth Summit in Rio de Janeiro, when President Bush signed on to it. President Clinton signed it later and continued the program in the United States. A non-governmental organization called the International Council of Local Environmental Initiatives, ICLEI, ICLEI, is tasked with carrying out the goals of Agenda 21. Now here is the 600 cities. Over 600 cities in the U.S. are members. Now the costs are paid by taxpayers. Okay, it says basically what you can do is you could start reading more into this, looking up what your town is doing about things like this. Now, if you are paying attention, reading intelligently, articles about redevelopment projects, bicycle boulevards, neighborhood summits, neighborhood elections, neighborhood revitalization projects, neighborhood stabilization projects, visioning, local boards, smart growth projects, low-income housing subsidies, transportation grants, green building retrofit programs, well monitoring, smart electric and gas meters, and the people who object to them come out every day. Connect with those people. Tell them about UN Agenda 21. Be a bridge. And then that's about that. That's it for this here that I printed. Just a quick little facts for you about Agenda 21. I've read other documents online that go into more detail about Agenda 21. I can give you a website here if you, let's see. Actually, in any search box, Google, Ask, Yahoo, just type in Agenda 21 facts or what is Agenda 21, and it'll bring up a bunch of websites for you to go on so you can read for yourself about Agenda 21. I didn't want to read this long, huge history and description of it. It's kind of long, and compared to the quick facts I read, it's kind of a little bit more difficult to understand. But yeah, if you it's under johnmalcolm.me. If you find a website that says John Malcolm, this is where I got it's a brief history and description of Agenda 21. And like I said, John Malcolm wrote it. Yes, do a search, Agenda 21 in the search box. Here we go, Agenda 21, the blueprint to advance sustainable development. And this site where I got this one from, freedomadvocates.org. This is Freedom Advocates Recognize Unalienable Rights. This is another great site to go on for information about Agenda 21, and also a bunch of other things that the government is trying to do to take away our rights as American citizens. And I recommend visiting this freedomadvocates.org for more information on anything from Agenda 21 to everything else the government is trying to do to us that takes away our rights as Americans. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this short video. I hope it was helpful to you. And I hope that you will do some research on your own about Agenda 21. And yes, let's just pray that they decide that this is not the way to go, and that they'll figure something else out instead. Because I certainly hope that this doesn't happen. Like I said, I don't want to end up living in housing subsidies and stacked on top of one another in apartment type places. So let's like I said, let's just pray that this doesn't happen. All right. Good night.